Hey, how's it going, guys? This is your boy Hazzed, and today we're going to be addressing the Demon Hunters strategy guide. Also, I got a question for you guys down in the comments below. Has Legion killed dueling for you? At least you're fired to duel. Now, what I want you to do is leave your class and your spec, and of course, leave your thoughts on it. Now, I don't want to put too much into your head at this point. I'll probably make a video addressing this very soon. And I really want to know what your guys' ideas are, because I really don't want to kind of put my ideas out there first, because I'm really curious about what kind of the community on my channel feels about it. So guys, let me know down in the comments below, and let's jump into this video.
It's who we are, it's what we do, we've come so far, and now we pay the price, so don't even cry. The world is breaking down, and I cannot leave the ground.
Now you're wondering, what kind of crazy stuff has Hayes come up with to beat, a raid boss such as that? Now, I've got kind of a strategy for it. Now, it's worked on, I'd say, 98% of Demon Hunters since even before I started playing on the beta, it has worked on. And I did quite a bit of dueling against an experienced Demon Hunter, 1800 plus experience last season, full mythic gear, and we went 1v1 at it in arena for quite a while. Now, one of the things I did notice was how the abilities were being switched up on his end. And it kind of told me exactly how we lose and how we beat Demon Hunters. And the good thing is for us, the spec that we actually lose to isn't the normal one that Demon Hunters play. So for the most part in Arena, when you come down to a 1v1 situation, you will be able to beat a Demon Hunter. Now when it comes down to both of you pre-planning out and going about the duel, you can still win the duel. I'd still say it would work on 85 to about 90% of Demon Hunters, because most Demon Hunters are not aware of how this works. So anyways, guys, I'm going to jump over to my Demon Hunter now so I can tell you guys exactly what abilities we have to watch out for, and then of course tell you how to counter it. So let's do this. So when it comes to Demon Hunters, there are a few rules right off the bat that you kind of have to know. For one, they deal massive amounts of AoE pressure, so if you're stacked up or anything like that, they're going to smash your face off. Number two, their main cooldown abilities and of course laser beam eyes and everything else comes with Metamorphosis. When they are in Metamorphosis form, any damage they deal, they heal. So anytime they're in this big Metamorphosis form, obviously they're going to heal a ton. Which, why they're doing that is why I call them a raid boss, because literally, if they're in that form, they're hitting, a few targets with some of their bigger abilities, they heal for an insane amount going on there. Like, they're almost not even worth focusing unless you've got 2+ good DPS on the target. As for that being said, how are we going to go about countering this, and what is that counter that Demon Hunters use against DKs that'll cause them to actually lose the match? Even though it was I was losing that match, that 2% of Demon Hunters that were able to do this, it was also with pre-planning, is because of the two talents known as Bloodlet and Master of Glaive, which usually people in Arena aren't using these talents. Now, the reason why he was able to counter a Frost DK using these two abilities is, believe it or not, a Demon Hunter applies more ranged pressure than a Frost DK, thus switching up how the offensive to defensive works for both characters. Now, most of the time, alright, so the thing for killing a Demon Hunter is he's going to come out on you. Like, a Demon Hunter is either going to do two things. He's going to wait for him to get time on you, or kind of a newer Demon Hunter is going to pop Metamorphosis right away. I'll go ahead and show you guys Metamorphosis, because, of course, it's that big, crazy demon that comes out, and, they just start slaughtering you, hitting that AoE, just going as ham as possible. And, of course, they come in for the stun, things like that. You use your trinket on that. You can use IBF on that, but I would suggest saving your IBF, because you're going to need that heal later on, definitely. Now, of course, the kind of normal spec isn't going to go into Bloodlet or Master of the Glaive. Therefore, Demon Hunters aren't going to slow you very much on a Frost DK. And as you guys know, if people don't slow me, there's something I'm going to take advantage quite a lot, and that's going to be the kiting method. Yep, we have to bring back the kiting method for Demon Hunters too, because of how long Metamorphosis lasts for and the just insane amount of healing they get while they're in it. We have to kite out Metamorphosis. And of course, when they are rocking Bloodlet and Master of the Glaive, when they're able to apply more ranged pressure than us, and of course hit us with that slow, I was able to evade the Demon Hunter for about 25 seconds when they were using the slow. Without it, you can basically do it endless. It's absolutely insane once you get it down. But overall, if they're not using those two abilities, you can kite out a Demon Hunter for quite a long time. You're basically going to completely kite out that Metamorphosis, and I'll talk about, of course, how to do that in a moment. Now, when are you going to use your IBF in main healing on a Demon Hunter? Generally near the end of meta. The better the Demon Hunter, the earlier you are going to have to use it. Really good Demon Hunters will force you, like I said before, they'll get you low around 25 seconds if they're using their slows and it's pre-planned out. But other than that, you can just spam the living crud out of them with chains, use LOS, and buy a lot of time. Now, they have a lot of momentum. So understand, if you're kiting a Demon Hunter and you're kiting around like straight corners, you're going to be a lot better off than if you're cutting small corners, little turns. Now, good Demon Hunters have macros that actually, of course, stop their fell rush from happening, so like they can stop partway through to get around a short corner and get greater distances. But for the most part, if you're cutting around, they're not going to be able to catch up. Especially newer Demon Hunters if you're using LOS and you're pillar humping really hard, because truth be told, Demon Hunters are a fairly basic class. They've got stuns, they've got their major burst, and then once the major burst is down, a lot of their survivability falls off inside of arena and battlegrounds. Now, the other key thing you got to watch out for is laser beam. You need to be interrupting laser beam. It deals massive damage, and of course, since they go into their little demon form, they're going to proc some healing off of it, and you really want to interrupt that fast. It's basically like if they get the whole thing off, I think it heals them for quite a large percentage of their health. But overall, I mean, that's about what you got to worry about when it comes to the offensive of Demon Hunters. As for defensives, you got to kind of watch out for. They're going to drop Darkness. You ever see Darkness on the ground, of course, it's going to give them damage. You know, you're not going to hit them as much. You know, it gives us 20% avoid to all damage, and I believe if you spec into it under a PvP talent, it's also going to add some damage reduction. So if you are fighting a Demon Hunter, hit him with a couple chains and kite out of that. As for the ability called Blur, it's kind of like a rogue evasion plus a damage reduction. So once that kites up, once that comes up, you have to kite out a Demon Hunter quite a lot too. So luckily, as I was saying before in the video, most Demon Hunters you run into won't be running the spec that actually counters Frost DK. I mean, I've only came across 2 of them actually playing it, and that was because they were specifically playing for double DPS situations. One was on PTR, and of course one was on live. That one. The other one was a really long time ago. But let's jump over to the DK. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to go about countering the Demon Hunter's mobility and when to burst and when to heal. Using this as kind of an arena situation, I'm going to be using, of course, this Raider's training dummy across the way. So what we're going to do on a Demon Hunter, kind of like the Monk video, we are going to catch him in open chains as much as possible. Now, we want to get up our runic power. Also, we want to apply Howling Blast. And if he comes within range for Fell Rush or anything like that, we hit him, of course, with Frost Strikes and keep applying that range damage and kiting him out. If they aren't using Bloodlet and the slow, which, as I said, most Demon Hunters won't be using it, you will be able to kite them out forever, just for a very long time. You'll just be able to hit that pillar, you'll just be able to run around it and damage the crud out of them, slowly whittling their health down to the point that they have to use Metamorphosis. Now, this kind of strategy was also something I've used in the recent past against Feral Druids and things like that, that of course got insane damage and healing during their cooldowns that obviously other classes couldn't compete with. It's kind of like Demon Hunters are the new Feral Druids, in my opinion. opinion. So Demon Hunters come out, they're about to pop major cooldowns. We've whittled their health down, we're kiting them out. They can't get on us, of course, because they're spec'd for arena. They're not spec'd for arena or BGs. They're not spec'd for that 1v1 situation. So he's thinking about it. He's gonna pop Metamorph. Alright, so he pops Metamorph, hops his big butt halfway across the map, and lands on me. So this is when you're actually going to use Wraith Walk. He hits you, he stuns you. This is the time you actually trinket. You don't want to get caught anywhere near that. Of course, he's going to heal, and he's going to deal an insane amount of damage. So he pops up in the air, hits me, stuns me. I'm going to trinket and actually pop Wraith Walk and get the heck out of there, get some LOS. So he's probably sitting out there getting ready to try and jump back on us. He's going to try to use Fell Rush, and as you know, most pillars are too tiny, so they Fell Rush right there, and they end up, out here somewhere. And you will have more than enough time to get your little butt, around this pillar, as long as you don't have Bloodlet ticking on you and, of course, slowing you down. So you just kind of recome out. You wait till you get a view of him again, and you hit him with chains. You just hit him with chains until the end of that Metamorph. And around that time, generally, if he's a really good Demon Hunter, your health will be, 50 to 60%. And let's say you've kited him out to that time, your health is 50 to 60%. Sometimes if you actually make interactions for split seconds, because he will be hitting you with his glaive, go ahead and Death Strike heal off him at the times that you can, and then of course get more distance on the Demon Hunter. Let's say cooldowns fall off. This is our time. Hopefully around this time you have quite a bit of runic power. You still have full cooldowns, things like that. As for when I fight, okay, like the Bloodlet, we were talking about that before. The Demon Hunter kind of controls the Frost DK in that situation. Now in this situation, of course, it's flipped. I've got his Demon Hunter his meta down, and I'm going to come in on this guy and burst. Of course, the first thing I want to do is Remorseless Winter Burst and then come out as hard as I possibly can, because that's when, of course, that's going to stack up to 5 and stun him. He's not going to have any healing right here, and we're going to beat the ever-living snot out of him. Now, at this time, he's probably started. He's got about 70 to 80% health, and we are just going to smash him with damage, because outside of cooldowns, our damage is also a lot higher than his. Now, the one thing you got to watch out is when you start getting him a lot lower, is you'll notice that his health, of course, when he reaches around 30%, he'll actually transform into another big raid boss that comes up. I mean, of course, not all Demon Hunters use this ability, but for the most part, I believe a lot do. It's kind of like a save if they can deal a lot of pressure during that small amount of health. So basically, they kind of go metaform again for a shorter period of time, of course granting them leech. That's where of course you want to hit with chains again and then just kite. Use the same method you did before, rinse and repeat with that Wraith Walk. It doesn't matter what they're doing, what they're coming out with, rinse and repeat if they ever hit that demon form. Also remember, if they come out on you and they try to hit you with their laser beam, which they can hit you with it pretty far away, remember that Mind Freeze is also ranged, so you can Mind Freeze that target from far away and get a kick on that laser beam without him, of course, destroying you and healing up a lot of his health. When should you use AMS and your heal against a Demon Hunter? Soon after his meta form is down, or like I said, if he's really good, you may have to use it about 5 seconds before it comes down to get a nice counter on a Demon Hunter. As for AMS, I generally save it for when I'm about to go aggressive and go for the stun, to of course avoid any stuns or CCs that he might try to use if he plans to kite or anything like that. As for the Bloodlet counter, it's really the same figures. It's just against people that have the same gear as me. If they're using the dual property instead the normal arena property, it does become a lot harder for a Frost DK to do this, I've found out. But even then, I was able to put the Demon Hunters down to, 15 to 20% health using the strategy. So even when they're spec'd to specifically counter us, the strategy still works really well for it for the most part. Because if you try to stand in demon form or you try to stand in major cooldowns on a Demon Hunter, you are guaranteed to lose that battle, because they just deal damage to heal. They don't even have to heal. It's like, they got less buttons than I do. Don't lie to me. They got less buttons than I do. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this guide video. I hope you enjoyed this little clump of information on Demon Hunters. There was quite a lot of you that wanted Demon Hunter guides that I think definitely didn't see a way to get around it. But anyways, guys, leave a like, comment, I asked you a question in the beginning of the video, and I really want to see your guys' answers. I'm really curious about it. And until next time, this was your boy Hazed.
The edge of the hellfire. It's the